friends, it's UrsulasRevenge and welcome back to Star Stable. Today we're actually going to go around and explore the map and look at all the places that you can go and enter the buildings for all of your roleplay and photography needs. I put together a list of all the places that I could remember and just doing a quick ride around. I'm pretty sure I got all of them, but if I happen to miss one, make sure to leave it in the comments. And for the first one, we're going to head over to Moorland. For this video, I picked mostly buildings that had the blue sparkles to interact with that have a loading screen for you to actually enter the building, but there are a couple of honorable mentions that don't exactly have that. The very first one is between Moorland Stables and Fort Pinta across from the lighthouse. This is Jasper's old barn. When you enter it, it just kind of looks like an attic. There's like a new, oh no. There is like a newspaper over here. This was pretty early on in the quests when you are helping sort of reunite Thomas and Jasper. So there are some quests in here. However, it is very tricky to navigate because our characters like to do a big old turn, and they don't like to spin around quite easily. But yeah, there's some newspapers and some bottles over here, and quick escape if you just jump on down. The next stop on our list is actually technically an honorable mention. So if you take the bus to a couple of these different locations, there aren't necessarily interior of buildings. I guess one of them is. But they are places that you can go that aren't technically on the map, and they do have the blue sparkles, and you do have to dismount your horse to get there. And it's the bus stop. So at the bus stop, you can go to a bunch of different places. These unlock as you progress further in the game. There's Jorvik City Mall, 18's Plaza, Governor's Fall, and Pier 13. First one up is Jorvik City Mall. This is legitimately a mall. You can go inside of all of these shops, and I guess they do have loading areas in between. There's a bunch of shops. You can actually go shopping here. I believe most of these items are in Global Shop though. There is a beauty salon. I did not include the beauty salons on this list because once you go inside, you can't actually move around. You just sit in the chair and choose what you want. There is a horse it's more like a horse decoration shop. And the Purple Pony, which is a more mystical looking shop, but it's mostly clothing from things like Cantarella and the Knights of Unistra series. And a model of the Silverglade Castle. The shop actually also does have horse tack and stuff too. What's also cool is that you can access your storage from the mall, so you can go shopping and you can just put things right away immediately instead of going to your home stable. One thing that I don't necessarily like about Jorvik City Mall is that it's just unfinished. If you go to the third floor, it's completely under construction. It seems like there was more plan that was just never fully implemented. I think that this area could look really, really cool if it kind of weren't for the construction and, if the textures were updated, but I think that's a low priority given everything else that's going on. Next up is 18's Plaza, which has a handful of shops kind of in like the back alleys you can explore. Like there's like a cute little beanie shop. You have a star in there, how cute! I've already gotten that star, so I'm not going to collect again, but there is something strange going on in 18's Plaza. Is this ice? What is happening? Oh no, as I get closer, it's melting. I don't know what is going on, but welcome to 18's Plaza. There's a little cafe here where you can buy some treats. There's a fountain in tribute to Aideen, so it's a cool place for roleplay. It is an area that is older on the map, and there aren't actually any like true interiors you can enter like normal. At Governor's Fall, you have a bunch of shops that you can enter. There's also Leonardo's ice cream shop, which is also a really cool place for roleplay. I like that you can sit in any of these chairs, inside or outside, and you can actually order stuff to eat at the tables. Finally, we have Pier 13, which is more like an industrial complex, and it's a pier. However, this building on the left, you can actually enter as part of the questline, and after you finish the questline, you can return. Entering the building, I can't really describe it in any other way than an industrial complex. This is like a storage building. And if you make it all the way through the maze, you'll make it into the laboratory. Just before the laboratory, there is a red door right here. Before you finish the quest, I believe it's locked. The hints are in the other rooms, by the way. There's this really cool kind of like server room with some computers and newspapers. I think that this room is really cool for role plays, especially like detective, spy sort of roleplay stuff. On second thought, the bus stop actually had a lot more of inside enterable buildings. So never mind. I've upgraded it from honorable mention to official mention. The next interior space on the list is inside of Fort Pinta. You can actually enter this pet shop. Oh, hey, I didn't know you were here. Look at this pretty bird. Unlike the hair salons, this is a shop that you can actually enter that has a cute little interior space. The next town on our list is Silverglade Village. To start, you can actually enter the castle. No longer locked, you should just be able to walk right in. No loading screen required, and your horse can actually come with you too. There are also 3 enterable locations in this kind of town hall clock towery building. If you go around the right side of the building, there is a small door that you can enter, which, if you follow the stairs all the way up, will take you to the clock face. You're inside the clock tower. If you go to the main door, there are 2 options. It'll either take you to the clubhouse or the club riding hall. This is the clubhouse. It's kind of like a really cool little meeting room for your riding club. They are dependent on your club, so you do have to be in a club to enter. I think this is the table for like the leaders. There's also cute little tables on either side. This is just a really cool, large hangout space, which I think is just really neat for clubs. It's like a guild hall. Each club also gets their own riding hall. Here there's like storage, there's music and stuff you can switch to, food for your horses. So if you ever want a more private area versus the Silverglade Arena, you got one in Silverglade Village at your riding hall. Just behind Steve's farm, you can also enter the silo behind Barney. It's a little hard to see, but there is a rope you can climb up, and there's a little hangout nook, a little loft up here. The next town on our list is Silverglade Manor. First up, you can actually enter the Baroness's wine cellar by entering in this door, and you can enter the basement. There's kind of like a little bit of a labyrinth, but there's some storage room stuff here. There are a couple of rooms actually, including this room that I don't really remember what it does. You can also enter this main building, which takes you to a library. I'm not quite sure what this is a picture of, or that building. Do we know where that building is? Is that Pine Hill? Let me know your thoughts. Lastly, if you go over to the side, there is a little door with a cafe sign, which leads you to Courtney's Cafe. In Golden Leaves, if you head towards Jasper's new farm, all the way to the back, you can actually enter this barn here, which looks remarkably like his old barn near Moorland. Heading up in the mountains, you can also go to Cauldron Swamp. Now, this one doesn't have a loading screen or a building that you can explicitly enter. However, this is kind of still an interior, which is why it made it on the honorable mention list. Heading over to Cape West Fishing Village, we have another kind of weird one. This is an official one, it's on the list, but if you talk to this helmsman, he'll take you back to Darkcore, where you can kind of run around the Darkcore mining rig. And everything's still there as we left it. Another building you can enter is the Silverglade Observatory. It'd be really cool if you could actually look at this telescope, but alas, you cannot. In Valedale, there are a couple of cool places you can visit. The first one is the Secret Stone Circle, which, if you forgot how to enter, if you just follow along the path in the spiral and you just keep going until the portal opens up, you'll find yourself in the Secret Stone Circle. Completely unrelated and just something I wanted to note. Have you noticed that there's kind of like this little gate here that you can't exit, but there's like clearly a bridge and a forest over there? And if you look in the map, you're actually north of Golden Hills Valley. The location actually kind of makes a lot of sense, specifically on like the books in Starshine Legacies, because they kind of do spend a lot of time in like the Northern Mountains area near Pine Hill Manor, and they like frequently ride up to that area too. There's like a whole world out there that we don't know about. Anyways, back to the task at hand. Here we are in the Secret Stone Circle, but you can also enter this little blue portal over here and you'll enter Fripp's room. This cute little observatory room. How's everyone's favorite blue squirrel doing? I like this room. It's like super mystical and cool. There's also like this really cute note here from one of the developers or game designers. It's the same on both pages, but it's instead of doing lorem ipsum, it's just a cute little note that they wrote with best regards from the Star Stable development team. Back in Valedale proper, if you cross the bridge past the horses that are for sale, this first house on the left is a building you can enter. This is a druid house. This is a token location, even though I've found them all. This one just kind of respawns a lot. Yeah, this is something that happens. Something to note though, this area of the map and this questline in general is actually kind of bugged right now. There's a doorway behind this bookcase that is supposed to be open since I've already completed the quest. However, it has reset for everyone, and people who are trying to do the quest cannot, but there's more stuff down here. I just can't currently access it. It's like a jail cell. It's a whole thing. Hopefully that gets fixed soon, but it's there, I promise. In Firgrove, if you go all the way as far back as you can and hang to the left, you can enter this house over here, which belongs to Mrs. Packard. It's a cute little kitchen. I don't know where she sleeps, but you know, this is cute. Over in Starshine Ranch, you can enter this building on top of the hill. If you enter this door, you'll find yourself in Lisa's house. Lisa's hanging out here, Starshine's hanging out here, we're all hanging out here. You can even listen to music. Oh hey, look, they have the book map on the wall too. The map that specifically does not list Starshine on here, despite us being in Starshine Ranch. It won't let me leave. Why can't I leave? While you're riding into Mistfall towards Dundle, if you hang left on the road, you'll find a little path to this cottage here. You've guessed it, it's another building you can enter. Oh, but it's dark for some reason. It's not supposed to be this dark. Nope, it's still dark even without shaders. I think something done goofed. Jumping around the map a little bit, I am now at Isengate in Valley of the Hidden Dino. You can no longer enter Isengate, however, apparently before my time that was a thing you could do. But alas, not anymore. Another place you can't enter is that wild looking cave over there. I'm not totally sure. I don't remember the lore on it, but I have a theory. I have a wild theory as to what it actually is. But I'll get into that in another day. So according to my tally, I've already shown you 2 places that you can't enter in Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur. However, there is a 3rd place that you can enter. I mean, this was not the one on my list, but I mean, it's neat. Honorable mention, little ice cave. Over in this section called Valley of the Frozen Mist, you can enter this cave thing here. Inside is kind of like a, I don't know if it's like a ruin. It doesn't really look ruined, but I guess it could be a ruin. With the ghost of Magnus Steinar. And then all the way in the back you have this mystical tree with Pandora crystals and Conrad for some reason. I see you, Conrad. I know your secrets. Heading over the Harvest Counties, we first encounter Wolf Hall Inn, which has a place you can enter. Surprising, I know. We have another kitchen with a big grill grate and fish and cheese and horrifying looking scythe thing. For some reason, this cook also has a picture of Andy. And the book! I had no idea that this texture was repurposed. Following the path, you can make your way to the Observatory, which also has an interior. If you go straight from the Mirror Marshes to New Hillcrest, the first house you see all the way across the way is also an enterable building. I think this house belongs to the Rockwells. It also looks like they haven't paid their utility bill. It's usually more lit than this. Also in New Hillcrest, you can enter Jamie Olive Tree's kitchen. I seem to be having some sort of problem. I know that others have mentioned this, but I don't know if it's certain buildings. But all of these should be lit up and they're not. If you've been keeping up with main questline, you'll know that you can also enter Fort Maria's library. This is a really cool building with lots of rooms, lots of details, and lots of different things for you to kind of look at and pretend with. There's just so much everywhere, and this is just a really, really, really big room. Series of rooms, actually, but I won't spoil too much of it, but there are several floors and several really cool things to look at. It turns out that in Crescent Moon Village, you can enter Professor Hayden's house, which I've never been in. It's also dark, which we've already established I'm having some sort of issue. But what I don't like is that it's covered in spiders and it's dark. Covered in spiders and it's dark. Another place you can enter is the B7 bunker on Shipwreck Shore. There is a whole labyrinth down here. If you run through Greendale Forest, you might come across this rope between all of the trees. In order to get into this one, you'll have to have gotten at least partway through the quest with the Sunfields and the Gold Spurs. In that quest, you get this item called the Key to the Treehouse, which you can use to enter the treehouse. Speaking of the Gold Spurs, they also have a silo that you can enter. This one has a different loft. If you take the upper road to enter Jarlaheim, you'll see a house on your left with a familiar horse. It's Meteor. Entering this building will take you to Linda's room. And the last spot on my list is in Jorvik Stables, where we can enter Herman's house. Specifically, Herman's kitchen, who has a very old picture of Starshine. That is my list of all of the enterable locations for all of your roleplay and photography needs in Star Stable. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite, maybe your least favorite, and did I miss any on this list? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you all in the next one.